I need you to see me behind my smile,
Right.
behind the joke, behind my gift or my talent or whatever I'm doing. There is a human person in here,
Yeah.
and she is not strong. She's resilient, and there is a huge difference.
Hey y'all, so welcome back to the Missing Piece Pod by Candace, Spann. I really appreciate you guys for listening and tuning in. If you haven't recently, please go back and watch one of my previous episodes that's live on YouTube. It was actually a conversation that I had with my mother about processing grief and going through just different times in our life. Well, today, what we're going to be doing in this episode, we're going to actually have another special guest as well, Miss Deya Smith. How are you?
Oh, awesome. How are you? I'm excited.
Good. I'm good. I'm excited too. I really am. I feel honored to have her here.
Awesome.
Honestly, on top of that, Deya's going to kind of share just a little bit just about who she is from what I know her as is a mom, a wife, and so much more. So Deya, tell us who you are. Let us know.
Oh, my Lord. So I am that. I'm a newlywed, so I'm a new wife, newly left-handed.
Period.
A mother. I've been a mother all my life, which is crazy, but it's true. Since I was about 19. I am an MC. I like to call myself the engagement expert.
I love that.
Yeah, that's my thing on the stage, just commanding the room and relaying the message from the messenger. So I'm like the liaison.
Love that.
Between the speaker and the audience. Also the founder of a family-owned business that we have called Lev Lighting and Effects, so a special effects company.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we wear a lot of hats.
A lot of hats.
I didn't know about this. I didn't know about the special effects company.
Girl, I'm out here. We outside.
Look,
okay?
One-stop shop. Because when you come, you can get just about everything.
Everything. I'm going to coordinate the event, then I'm going to do some special effects on my whole staff.
On top of it.
Girl, everything.
No, because you're going to have to pay it because it's going to be a big
Well,
check, you know?
run it up. Is that what they say nowadays?
Yeah.
Run it up? That's what we're doing.
Big bags. So,
But yeah, that's me in a nutshell. I love God. I love people. And I just want to use everything that He's given me to better this world that we live in.
I love that. I really, honestly, it's just, you can probably feel it through the camera, how beautiful her spirit is. We met recently at the Black Food Truck Festival audio recording in the studio. And she was like, you know, she do MC stuff off top. She was comfortable. Hey, y'all, welcome to the Black Food Truck Festival. This me. I don't know what I'm doing.
Listen.
Give me a little confidence, Deya.
I came in there, I was just like, voice change immediately. Hey, girl, hey. Look. Welcome to the Black Food Truck Festival. This is Deya.
Look. She does this, okay? Not
you
new
were
to it.
awesome, though. You were great, too.
I mean, after
awesome.
like take 7, I was like, okay, I'm getting loose.
You did really good, though, from listening. Even if it was your first time, it didn't sound like your first time.
Well, that's good. That gives me a confident
You
boost.
sounded great.
Yeah. I'm kind of moving in the host MC space, so I kind of gleam at you a little bit. You know, you inspire me. So
Thank you.
it's just been a
That's
great
huge.
connection. Yes.
Yeah, I love that.
So today you came out, and I asked her to actually be a guest on the podcast because it's no secret. Since I've been posting and doing all these episodes, random people have just been walking up to me and, hey, Candace, I've been seeing what you've been posting. I've been listening to your episodes as it pertains to grief. Did I ask for this podcast to be about grief? I did not. I thought I was just sharing a series just about what I went through. Well, apparently a lot of other people have been grieving too as well.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how we met.
It's a thing that nobody talks about it. So I'm with everybody else. Thank you for doing what you're doing.
Look, I'm just listening to the Lord because I didn't even, you just honestly, so to wrap all of that up is really just to say, you know, don't downplay what the Lord is doing in your life, you know.
Oh, my Lord. That's so good.
You just never know how it's going to impact people. Yeah. And we randomly met. You were like, I need to be a guest on your podcast. I was like, you know what? You need to be a guest on my podcast. I want to talk about this. Yeah. So I am here today to learn about Deya, let you guys learn about her, and then learn about her dynamic story as she's been pressing through just as a wife and a mom through some powerful moments and even some dark times. So Deya, tell us about a time where you just had to learn how to push through maybe those dark moments to brighter side, and honestly the whole reason why we're here.
Wow. So it's such like a long story, if that makes any sense.
We have time.
I right, we really do.
We do have time. Nothing but it.
I am, or I feel like I have always been like this positive force of motivation and all that stuff. No. It's gonna be hard, but it's okay. Just push through. That was my thing on Facebook, and on all social media. It's like push. I was a power pusher, and I'm just pushing everybody through because I've gone through so many, ups and downs.
Right.
Not knowing that I would come to like a valley that's like so low that I need to be pushed.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I've always just been motivation, inspiration. And in September of 2021, I lost my oldest son of two sons.
Wow.
Which is, I don't even want to use past tense. It is still currently devastating. Even to, even to be in this world like without him, it just feels like an alternate universe. And so, definitely in an entire like black hole, or I don't know. It's like my whole, and it's so crazy because like right before all this happened,
Right.
I just set up. I got another setup for my power push. I'm doing my podcast. I'm doing all these things, all things motivation, and like right after it is just, I don't know. It's the twilight zone.
Right. It's like blur in that moment.
It's a blur.
Yeah.
It's a blur. It is the darkest. It's so dark that I didn't know who I was.
Yeah.
I didn't know what I was supposed to do. Honestly, I don't know if I shared this with you. I think I did, but I literally in that moment I prayed to God. Firstly, if he could just reverse time. Like I hadn't seen it yet.
Yeah.
But if he could do it for me, because I've been faithful. And like this is crazy. So if you could just do this one thing for me, and or let me sit in the mindset that either this is not real. It was crazy. It was like being at the break of like a nervous breakdown.
Wow. Like an outer body experience, kind of like you just.
It was crazy, especially for someone who is motivational. I like to feel like I am like a rational thinker, like logic.
Yeah.
And no logic was like helping me through. I'm trying to keep myself together.
Look, you gotta do what you gotta do.
But yeah, I was trying to logic my way through the moment.
Right.
And I'm a mother of two sons, so I have the two, and he's my oldest, and it's just crazy. He's cool. We are excited. I'm officially excited to get off like being his mom, like take off from being his mom.
Yeah.
Now I can be his friend.
Right.
So yeah.
Yeah.
And so it was devastating. I had just met somebody, so I'm just dating.
Oh, okay.
In real life.
Wow.
He loves him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like everything just really felt like it was coming together.
And then that happened randomly.
Yeah.
Jeez.
I had my guards down. Like for the first time. So I feel like I've always been in like survival mode. And for the first time I felt like I was thriving. I can see like the breaking of day. Like I can see everything coming together. And I just felt so good and so happy and so relieved.
So let me ask you a question. As far as that happening with things automatically coming together, did you feel like that was like a sense of punishment for it? Or what did you think, like why this had to happen now? Because I know there's a lot of questions that we typically have with grief.
So many questions.
Grief and death, honestly,
doesn't
really have a time, or it doesn't wait on anybody. Things just happen. And it does feel like either the most perfect moments or like the most challenging. So did you feel any sense of like, was it like, why is this happening kind of thing? Like my life was just going well. Like what was that feeling?
That's such a good question. Because when it first happened, my biggest question was, first of all, how? Like, how could this happen to me, like in my life? But also, how could this happen to my son in his life? And so it felt, I don't even know why it even came to my mind more than, how in the world?
Right.
I've done everything.
Right, yeah.
how could you let this happen? Or what could I have done differently? So I had never thought about like why or like if it was like punishment. But I would say to, now that we're having this conversation, I did feel a sense of it's because I let my guard down. Like,
what you mean by
like
that?
I was too happy. I was like rested in happiness. Had I kept that guard up of waiting for the other shoe to drop, which is historically like my personality. You know what I'm saying? From my experience, the shoe has always dropped. And so in this moment, I feel like I'm doing everything right and everything's on the up and up. So maybe it won't drop. So I let my guard down. And so it made me feel like if I wouldn't have let my guard down, I don't know what would have been different, but more or less like why. It was just like
just that full of emotion.
Because I don't know if I felt like it was punishment. I did not feel that way.
Good.
It was so crazy because in that moment, like that the next day, or maybe a week after, I don't know. But in that moment, I was thinking, I was immediately grateful. It was devastating. It was horrible. Don't get me wrong. But I was immediately grateful that me and my son had a great relationship. Like I was just immediately grateful for that.
Yeah.
So it was like twofold because I was broken because of that, and then I was grateful because of that. And I was like grateful for the like amazing guy that he grew to be, or the amazing man he was. I was like so grateful because I had like so many like great memories, but then at the same time I felt like really, really hurt, like devastated.
Yeah.
Honestly, still to this day, still extremely just devastated.
And I mean, honestly though, it's not something that anybody wouldn't be as a mom.
Yeah.
I mean, death period, but as a mom, your child, I can just only imagine how that felt.
Yeah.
Just losing this precious baby you created, you raised, you kind of helped grew up and become a young man.
Yeah.
So.
And we went through tough times.
Right. And I remember you saying that.
Yeah.
So honestly, the elephant kind of in the room is, so what happened that day? What happened to him, if that's okay for me to ask?
Yeah, it's okay. So it was a day like any other day. My son, he lived on his own, and my younger son would always go to his house because they both worked on music or whatever. So he had like a shed, and they called that the studio. So my younger son would always go to his house because the studio was there.
Okay.
So he was in the house, and then he was in the shed, like working on music. And so this day was just like any other day. I was going to the Seacoast, I think it's called Chosen Conference, but it was a conference over at Seacoast in Mount Pleasant. And it was awesome. It was a women's conference. The day was just amazing. My younger son used my car, so he came back to come and get me to get some lunch.
Okay.
And I'm getting ready for like the second half of the conference. And he drops me off, and he goes back over to his brother's house, and he calls me on FaceTime. And he's just like, but his eyes are really big, like,
in shock.
Yeah, and in my mind, as a mom, you're already solving a problem. I'm ready to say it's okay.
Right.
It's all right. Calm down.
Right.
I don't know why, but in my brain, immediately I thought somebody had broken our house, and I don't know what I thought they stole, but I was like, it's okay.
Right.
Like whatever it is, I'm ready to solve. Like immediately. And he's just like standing there, and he didn't say anything. I'm like, what's going on? What's up? What's going on? What's up? And then he says my son's name. Ooh.
It's okay.
Then he completely broke down crying. And my son never cries. Like neither one of them, they just don't really do that. And so he broke out into like this deep cry, and he kept saying his name. And I'm like, what's going on? Like he never would tell me exactly what's going on. And he was just like, Dre. And I'm like, turn the phone around, like, let me see. And he never would like turn the phone. And he didn't say he was gone. He never said exactly what was going on. But whatever it is, he is crying, and I don't hear Dre in the background. Yeah. So whatever it is really bad. So I was with my friend Priscilla Johnson, my homegirl. That's my fave. And so she was with me, and so she immediately called 911, and I'm just trying to ask my son, like, what's going on? Like, what happened? Okay, got it. It's about Jure, but what's going on with Jure?
Right.
What is he doing? What is going on?
Right.
What do you see? I'm just trying to solve this. And I'm thinking maybe he passed out. And I'm thinking maybe, something happened, and I don't know. I don't know what I'm thinking. And so we rush over there. We call 911, and 911 is telling him to do all these different things, and he's just like, I can't.
Right.
And I don't know. I don't know what to do either.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's fair.
It's like a split second of everything is so great, and then the next possible second, everything is, what is going on? Like, what happened? What? So after the call, 911, I think they're there with him now. They're trying to find, where the house is. I don't even know the address. I'm attempting to think fast. I can't really think fast. I don't know.
Yeah.
But you want to solve anything for your kids. And again, both of them, they are not the ones who are just like out here, they're just crying. No.
Right, yeah.
And so once 911 got there, we hung up, and then we rushed over from Mount Pleasant over to Somerville, and people are already gathered around. My son is in the police car because he's the one, I guess, that found him.
Right.
I still have no idea. I have no idea exactly what happened, but they also wouldn't let me go close. I'm trying to figure out how I even found out, like, what happened. I think while I was standing out there in the crowd, like, somebody told me that he was shot. And so, yeah, it was just crazy. It was already like a bunch of people out there. And then my son is in the police car.
Yeah.
And so one son gun and one son in the car. And so they let him out so that I can talk to him for a second. And he has like blood on his shirt. He was saying, he was just like, Mom, we gotta push. That's what you always say. We gotta push. And so it's almost like me and him were both in the same, not even we were both in the same realm, but trying to bring logic, like, to the moment. Like, I don't even know if he was crying or what, but he was just like, no, Mom, you said we gotta push. He was talking fast, though.
Yeah.
Like, he's, no, Mom, remember you said push, you gotta push. Remember you said that we gotta push, we gotta get through this, we gotta push, we gotta get through this. And I'm like, just this kind of, it's just devastating.
Yeah.
It is the craziest thing. And so, yeah. So later on, I will find out, forever later, because on the shows, they make it seem like right then and there, you find out what happened, this, that. No, they didn't tell me anything, as if he wasn't my son.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Right.
As if this wasn't both of my sons.
Yeah.
My little family. I have a tiny little family of me and my two sons. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Of course, now I have a husband. At that time, I had, a boyfriend. And so, but even that was new. These two sons, we know this is our little family. And yeah, that's, so later on I found out that he was fatally shot, I think about 4 times.
Jeez.
By someone who he knew. It was somebody he went to high school with. And I don't even know why still.
Yeah.
Like, everything isn't like concluded. And so, but that's it. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
it was crazy.
Thank you for sharing that. I know it's a lot,
Thank you.
When you came up to me when we were recording and you said, like, you lost your son, I'm not a mom, so I didn't really know, what to say or how to respond back. And I'm like, oh my God, like, that's such a dynamic, point of view. And I think sometimes when you process grief, you don't really think about, like, the different relationships. Like, it could be your sibling or your child or your parent. Right. And so this is just kind of letting me see into your world.
Yeah.
You know, the beautiful thing that I've heard about what you say is, like, you being a child of God, you being a woman of God, you were in the house of the Lord and leaving from that, even out of that situation, coming to see your son. So it still seems like you were still surrounded by the things of Christ while that was happening. But, That's a lot. I mean, I don't know. I could just feel you.
It was a long, crazy day.
Yeah.
It was a crazy day. I can remember my friends immediately came. So I was already with Priscilla. So she was already driving me around. And I would try to call people and she would just like take the phone.
Yeah.
Because I think in my mind, you know how you don't see yourself? It's like blind spots. And so I think I'm handling things well. I don't know what the heck I'm doing, honestly.
Right.
But I know I gotta call somebody. So I call my husband and I'm just like, but I had just got off the phone with him a little while before that. And I don't even have the words to say. I just said,
right.
Jeray is gone. And I think Priscilla took the phone. Same with my mom and my sister. We chat on Messenger and I just called them. I'm just crying. And they're like, what? And I'm just like, Jeray. She takes the phone again. And I think I called my friend Shakia. Like, I don't know exactly what to do, but I know that I need to call somebody.
Yeah.
Like, somebody needs to know what's going on. And we're on the scene and I'm blacking out on the scene, honestly. I can't believe it. Mm-hmm. I cannot believe it. Yeah. And I go home and my dad lives in Andrews.
Okay.
He was there that night and I'm telling him, I'm okay. I just need a moment. Like, just let me think, let me be by myself. I'm okay. And they're like, no, you're not. And no,
yeah.
You're not leaving. You can go upstairs.
Right.
But we're not leaving here.
It's so weird that when we deal with these traumatic experiences, yeah. like a lot of our first response is yeah. to like retreat.
Yeah.
And the process, which it can be a healthy thing, but also to family being around is, yeah. Very needed. Yeah. So, how were you able to pivot after that moment? Because with a mom, and I've seen so many moms, even in my family, lost their kids, and so many people talk about losing their children to gun violence. So how was the pivoting point for you after all of that? And that's okay if you're still, because it's not something that you forget, you know what I mean? Right. But like, what was the things that you kind of did to begin like your healing journey right after this has happened?
So even that is like loaded. And I'm so grateful that you like have a platform like this, because I feel like the process is like so loaded that there's no singular answer to like anything.
Yeah.
Because your mind is constantly reminding your heart. Mm-hmm. And then when your mind is on something else, your heart reminds your mind.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm following.
Like your mind will, no. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Remember the funeral. And then the flash of the funeral. Right. Remember this and then a flash of that. And your heart is like, oh, remember that thing happened? Mm-hmm. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And so I think, oh man, I'm trying to figure out how to answer this, because there are so many moments. Firstly, I have to say this. I am so grateful to God that, man, I have people that love me.
Yeah.
So my family, everybody I ever met in my life, like reached out to me. They were there, they were around. My husband, like everybody I ever met.
Yeah.
So I think being surrounded by people who allow me to be. Mm-hmm. Not be Deya the pusher or Deya da no. A human who had lost their child. And so I think that was something that kept me together when my mind was seriously trying to stay there.
Yeah.
I want to stay here.
Yeah.
Honestly, I want to stay at the day before it happened on September the 17th. I want to stay at the 16th.
Yeah.
Like, it sounds crazy when I say it out loud, but in my heart of hearts, that's really what I was like attempting to do.
And that is normal.
Yeah. I was like fully attempting to stay at the day before like it never happened, and he'll be back in a little while.
Right, yeah.
Even though I know it's not. Like my mind I know it's not true, but I wanted to live there. And so, just kind of being there and just being surrounded by people. And after a long time, because everybody, whenever anything happens, I don't know why people do this, but y'all should probably stop a little bit. But
Y'all can't stop. Whatever y'all doing, stop doing it.
Like immediately, first of all, everybody's giving you all the scriptures and where, well,
right.
God needed the angel. Well, why can't I get,
Yeah, no, right.
There's a blessing that what I don't need it if it costs this much.
Yes.
I don't even. And the biggest thing that everybody always does immediately is, you need counseling. Go to grief counseling. And everybody said that like so much, and I feel like I'm very much for grief counseling. I think it is when you are ready, because I think the thing that people do not realize, a lot has happened, and the funeral is in what, like a week and a half,
right? Like immediately
so
after.
You are planning it's a funeral, but low key, it's almost like a family reunion. In like a week and a half, and it's devastating. Right. But you are the one doing it.
Right.
Mm-hmm. It happened to me. I'm doing it.
Right. Yeah.
It's the craziest thing.
Yeah.
You are receiving flowers. You're receiving condolences. Your heart is broken and shattered. Your mind is barely there. You are planning a funeral. And everybody's just like, go to counseling.
Yeah.
When?
Right. Yeah.
I got a lot going on right now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And so probably about a year later, I went to grief counseling, and it was just amazing. It was a lot of crying. And if I could drop some where I went. So I'm Crystal Gibson.
Okay.
Crystal Brown Gibson. Oh man, I hope I'm not butchering. Crystal, I love you, girl. I hope I'm not butchering your name. But so she doesn't do actual like grief counseling, but she, you come and you sit and you meet and she plays songs and things like that. So you just have a moment to kind of sit and cry, but also let out what's in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so that was like my first step. And then after that, I went to like actual grief counseling with Ruben and Betty Wright.
Okay.
And they were pastors. They were amazing.
Yeah.
And I cried a lot. And they allowed me to cry a lot while guiding, like the thought, and, just being able to just fully cry, and then telling me like, no, it's going to be up and down.
Right.
You don't go from 1 to 2 and then are you ready for 3? No.
Yeah.
You go from 1 to 5 to 1 to 3 to 1 to 6.
Yeah.
Like.
And then they have a length of those times too. So you do like a 5 for a couple weeks, a month, and then next thing you know, you like a 1 for 2 months.
Like it's like, and that's where I learned the phrase ebbs and flows. Like I never heard that before until I went to them, and I feel like that just really, it just helped me. It helped me to cry and let it out, but it helped me to navigate my feelings. It helped me to navigate my faith, because I know you said that like I was surrounded by Christ, but girl.
Yeah, because
I'm not gonna say I broke up with God, but
because be real, this
a little bit.
But this is the reality of humanity, right?
Yeah.
And I am one thing about it on this podcast. I'm gonna keep it real at all times,
right?
And it's like I have a whole episode about grieving the church, so I like ran from the church for years, and was like, God, I can't do this. You cannot be expecting me to do this.
Yeah.
Ain't no way this happening, because ain't no way you allowing this to happen. I was angry with him.
Right.
So be real.
I think that's the thing. Like I was, man, this is tough to say. I was disappointed.
Why?
I was disappointed that God would allow this to happen to my family after, I don't know, like I've been praying and I've been doing all these things, and you said train them up and where it should go, I've done all these things, and I prayed so hard, and I just felt extremely disappointed, because from my mindset, I feel, and I've always like preached this, I teach this is what it is. I'm like, no, in my power vision, no, the enemy can't do anything to you unless he gets permission from God. Okay. You know what I mean? And so I'm like, wait.
So you feel like a Job experience?
So he came to you for permission. You gave him permission to do this to me? Why would you give him permission? And then there's just this dual thing of, man, like I got to be like a worshiper, but now at this point I believed God for me and for you, but after this I kind of only believe him for you. Like he he's not going to show up for me.
Have you ever seen the movie called The Shack?
Mm-mm.
I think it's a really great...
What is it?
It's called The Shack.
Somebody gave me that book. Is it a grieving book or something?
It is a good movie. Yes, it's a good book. But it's about a family, married, husband, wife. They had a few kids. They always go up to the mountains, to do their fall or summer vacation, whatever, spring vacation. And, the daughter ends up getting kidnapped. She ends up getting murdered in the movie. And the husband is angry with God. And the whole movie shows a depiction of, one, the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, and throughout the whole time, what happened from beginning to end. And his wife was a believer. She went to church. She consulted the Lord. She remained in her relationship. Him, he said, I ain't got time for this. I'm angry. And that movie is a very realistic view of when something happens, you're disappointed, you don't expect it to happen, and how God still allows protection to happen. So to just kind of not make it so long, but kind of give a few details on it, they showed him going to the throne of grace and seeking the Lord about, why did you allow my child to be murdered? She's 5 years old. This guy's a, molester, murderer, etc. And he was like, you should just send him to hell. Like, send him to hell. And he was just kind of asking, like, God on the throne, why would you give grace to certain people, but you wouldn't give grace to my daughter, et cetera, et cetera. So then it was just kind of a description of how grace and mercy works, right? And how free will works.
Wow.
And
yeah.
So it was just a very heavy, him understanding, one, how our free will works, and then how God, judges us within our free will. Because, and not to prolong it, but there's 3 wills. So we have God's permissive, perfect. Yeah. So, a lot of.
Wait, what's the third one?
I think it's intentional. So you have the will of the Lord. When he say the sun gonna shine, the sun gonna shine. The moon gonna shine at night. The water separated from the sky. He said those things. That is the will of what God has said. And then you have the permissive will, where
you've been asking for it. So
correct.
Here you go. Y'all say y'all want a king.
Right.
Exactly.
King. So when you think about permission and you think about permits, if you're in construction, you need, access to that. You need to ask for that to happen. Yeah. That's a request. That happens in our free will. And then you have the intended will, where Jesus dies on the cross and he intends for all of us to be saved, but not everybody will be saved.
Right.
So we maneuver out of those things, he made you who you are.
Right.
And then in a permissive will, you make good decisions, you make bad ones.
Right.
And he intends for you to live a promised life,
right.
In eternity with him.
Yeah.
But if you go to hell, that's not his fault, right?
Right.
So it's just like,
right.
those are 3 different wills, and the movie really touches on how we maneuver through the thing and how to still have a relationship with God. So if you have some time, not to bring out more emotions, but it's a beautiful story.
I'm gonna check that out.
Yeah.
I definitely had a rocky.
Yeah.
It was a rocky relationship, and I'm a worship leader. And so I'm going through this, and after some time, it's time to get up and worship.
Right.
And so, I don't know if I necessarily believe what I'm saying anymore. But this is the position. And one thing's about it, and I don't know if this is everybody, but I know for me and my journey, one thing I am is an actress. You hear me? I can compartmentalize. And so I am hurting over here, and there are mornings right before I would, go to the sound check or even lead worship, I am fully crying. The funeral home is a block away, from the church. And I can remember one Sunday, I don't know why, my brain's just if you go up there, your son is right up there. That's the funeral home. Or something like that. I'm oh.
Yeah.
And I turn and I'm in church, I'm just oh. So it was definitely a rocky road, but I feel like I was still open to God. Thank God for, I don't know, I guess just how he has maybe even matured or shaped my logic around it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So even as far as just all the dynamics, my son is gone and this person did it, you know what I mean? And then this and then that, and being able to say, okay, Lord, what should Like, what should I do?
Mm-hmm. And the thing about that, not a lot of people have mental maturity and strength to do that. Yeah. So even in your season of those power pushing, you might not even know that was you teaching to the crowd, and that was teaching you.
For me. Yeah. For me.
You just, all things work together. So we don't want evil, but the beautiful thing about God is that God will still pull good things out of evil situations, and a prayer that I say like in the morning, especially when I leave the house or anything, I'm like, Lord, protect me from the free will of evil from everybody else's life. Because they may make up today and they want to kill somebody. They may want to crash your car. I be randomly thinking in Charleston, somebody try to slit my throat. I don't know. That's not to think negative, but you're like, child, somebody can shank you out of nowhere. You're not even look. You just don't know. People crazy.
And my imagination has, I think since then my imagination had it has me like ready for, like you said, like anything, or ready for the worst. Man, I'm so grateful that you have the platform, because the other side of it is now that is in the front of my mind. I don't know if it was in my mind at all, but now like when it comes to death or like myself or like other situations or my other son, it is just, man, your mind, it just race like so bad. So it's a whole thing. But you can't necessarily talk about it. You can talk about it for a certain amount of time.
But you can, though. And that's the point why we're here. And I don't care if it's 5 years from now.
Right.
But we got a part 2 of the episode. Let me tell you about
what. But that's how it seems. It's like you can't really say anything because it like makes everybody uncomfortable, even though these are your feelings.
Who cares?
Like, they say, how you doing? But they really want you to say all right, even if you're not.
Yeah. And we thank the Lord for discernment. Right. Because, most of the time, those who are just asking, like, hey, just checking in. Right. And then those who intentionally want to check in and know who you are and do a temperature check. Yeah. And that's the beautiful thing about the relationships that we have, with one another. So I got some questions here, y'all. I know I think you hit, basically most, but overall, one of the questions I wanted to ask you, how did it change you just as a person?
Oh my Lord. Honestly, I feel like a part of me could possibly be tougher. At the core of me, I'm nice, I'm compassionate, I'm this, I'm that. But from this, I don't know, I feel like I was more raw. My no means no.
Period.
It's I don't know. It's in this moment I had to fight for my humanity. I'm a person. I don't know if you remember, but I had lost my son. So no. Leave me alone. Right. Or just let me be. Yeah. And I feel like a part of me, the part that wants to perform has, I'm not gonna say died, but is fading out.
Right.
The part of me that just wants to perform and make everybody happy or this and the third. I feel like that has changed. Also, grace for others who are going through and to the 10th power now.
Man,
I already had grace.
Yeah.
But now there is this grace from experience. I think experience, it's almost like helping somebody get off drugs, but you've never been on drugs. And so it's I have empathy for you. Right. You know what I mean? But no, I have this grace that is on a whole nother level. No, people are going, when I would always hear about losing your mind or having a nervous breakdown, but now, no. It's very possible.
Absolutely it is.
Our mind our heart can only hold so much. It will implode. And so, yeah, I just have a whole nother level of grace. And more than anything, I really want to be present for people. Your humanness, not your cape, not you while you're acting, not you with the mask on. I really want to be present for people, because I feel like that is kind of it's not what I need all the time, but sometimes that's what I need. I need you to see me behind my smile, behind the joke, behind my gift or my talent or whatever I'm doing. There is a human person in here, and she is not strong. She is resilient, and there is a huge difference. Like, I am not strong. I'm a regular person who had a baby, who raised this baby by myself with my family and my friends, and this baby was amazing. Now he is a young man, and he's not here.
Yeah.
And I have another son. My whole family is kind of broken, and so now, you know, I feel like that's the biggest thing. I want to be present. Even, you know, I'm not gonna say I don't power push anymore, but I don't know if that message still stands for me.
It feels like it does, because
you think so?
I personally just from a mom, and I'm going to ask you kind of share on that too, just kind of how would you speak to other mothers, but a place that you are in, if I was a therapist, which I'm not, but a place that if I was a therapist, I would not be as concerned, because your logic and faith have now raised to a point to, like, power push seems like to be a part of your identity, because to me it seems like you're doing it.
You think so?
I personally, I don't really know anybody that's like, most of the times when I'm having conversations with people about grief, it's either that those that are on the other side of it, which is like kind of where we are, like you have that, you know, faith and logic, and you're trusting what the Lord has done, you know, you're forgiving, you move on, you grieve, but you know, you're ready to pivot. And you have those who truly still struggle. And they don't know how to push. They don't know how to pray. They don't know how to believe. They don't know. They don't have positivity. They don't have good thoughts. Anytime you say that person's name, they bust it. You know what I mean?
No, that's very true. I totally get that.
I just kind of feel like just your spirit, and honestly, that can just be just God delivering you from that and healing you in that, and maybe that's what I'm sensing. But I just like,
maybe I still am. I didn't think so, but because there are so many moments that, like, I just don't feel like it. Like, I haven't been, so right before this, I'm live every Wednesday. That was it. That was my Power Push Wednesday.
I
haven't done it in like 3 years. Like, I haven't done it since, and I think because I didn't do it, I feel like I'm not doing it maybe. But I mean, I appreciate your perspective. Like, maybe I am. I mean, because you know, sometimes you don't see because you're doing. Or you're doing it and you're not intentionally doing it, but it's, you know, maybe it's still happening.
I just would have not. I can just see healing and God working what it is in your life as I've been having a relationship with you. And most times you just don't see that with people who just haven't really, had a relationship with God, or really had, you know, an encounter with therapy or things that kind of help them pivot from that. So that's what I feel from you. And I'm like,
I receive it 100%. Thank you.
I'm like just so proud. I'm like, oh my, because I just don't know how I would have felt as a mom. Like, I don't have a child, so it's like I don't really know what that would feel like. But to hear that you still have a power push. You coming on this podcast and talking about your story is a power push. You being able to smile and be joyful and still crack jokes is still a power. It's like a version of it, even if it's not going live every Wednesday or having a platform. Just getting up and still being able to, you know, have a positive mindset.
Thank you for that.
Yeah, I really do. Yeah.
I mean, that's so huge. I really appreciate that, because I don't know, you know, when you see yourself, you critique yourself so bad. I'm just like, yeah, no, I can't do it.
Yeah.
Whereas now I'm like, well, maybe I can.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's huge. Thank you so much.
Yeah. And I didn't even talk about like doing a podcast and doing this and doing that. Maybe, I don't know, you thinking about it. But I just feel like.
Prophesy!
No, I'm just saying though, but when you said, to piggyback on what you said, is like you really want to show up for people and for them to understand humanity. I believe now that I've experienced forgiveness and I forgave so many people, I am living a very happy, joyful life. And I don't ever want to be in a place where it's like dark or sad all the time. Like, I have my moment. Yeah. But you know what I mean? But it's like, I went to hell and back. Like, I got the keys of joy on my life from the devil. If Jesus been holding me by the wayside, look, and grab the key out the devil's hand and give me my joy back by box you. That's what I feel like. Before what? By Okay.
Don't play.
No, I'm telling you. But I'm just like, I feel like the Lord really pulled me out of that dark place. And it's like, I genuinely, authentically want to help people be pulled out of dark places.
Yeah.
And through having conversations like this, like.
I love that.
Come on now.
I love that. Listen, he'll bring it all the way around.
Okay.
Because that really was always like my thing. My thing has always been people.
Yeah.
Like I was a kid who, I think we talked about this. Like I just always thought and felt. Like they talk about empathy, like an empath. Like I know that is what is on my life. So people has always been my thing.
Yes.
And now it has been even more magnified. Like I always wanted to make people feel good, right? But now I want you to feel human.
Right.
So now, no. Cry.
Right. Please.
Cry.
We need you to process your feelings. Yes.
No. I don't want you to pretend to feel good, or I don't want you to feel good if you don't feel good. Like, cry and get through it. Like, I just don't want you to hold up your own process of going through. And that's one thing that I learned through the grief counseling as well. Like, if we do anything, it can just keep us stuck. And now it's a spirit of grief and not grief. Now it's a whole spirit. You know what I mean? And so, people are my thing. I want people to feel how they feel. I think that it's okay for you to feel doubtful. I think it's okay for you to have fear. I think it's okay for your heart to be broken, for you to feel discouraged, for you to be disappointed, you to be angry with God. I feel like that's okay. I feel like from my own process, because I'm my own case study, okay? I've been counseling me for a long time, okay? I'm not licensed, but I've been my own case study. And through this process, I now learn, I feel like the biggest difference is that I know that God can really handle every part of you.
Yeah.
Every ounce.
Girl, that's good.
Every ounce, the bad stuff.
Right, yeah.
Whatever you did, however you feel, however negative it is, perversion, like anything, like God can handle everything about you. And if God can, so can I. Like I just give you to him.
Right.
And I just want to make sure that you get through and you know that you are seen as the human that God placed you on this earth as.
I love that.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah, he can handle every bit of you.
Yeah.
Every bit.
So as far as like your purpose and like pivoting life, coming back out into the public, because I can know sometimes after these processes, coming back to reality or, what does that look like, or how are you reestablishing the purpose of your life again? Or do you feel like you lost it?
For a little while I did.
Okay.
For a little while. So honestly, this is so good. This is such a good convo. I don't know how much time we got, girl, but
Look.
Let's get though. Let's go. Honestly, for a long time, I didn't know like who I was or what I was supposed to do, mainly because I did not want to identify as a grieving mother. That was the biggest thing.
Right, yeah.
Stopped me from going to counseling. It stopped me from everything because I don't want to sit around with other mothers who lost their kid because who am I? Yeah. Like, I'm so arrogant. Like, why am I like, no. Like, it's the ghetto. Like, I don't want to do that. But, like, I just didn't want to be a grieving mother. Right. Like,
but why, though? What's wrong with being in the room with other women that you relate to?
Right. And why? Like, why don't I? And honestly, I do feel, and thank you, Lord, like it's coming to me right in this moment. I feel like I just wanted to stay with the character that I had built, but it wasn't the actual me. Wow. And the actual me is a grieving mother. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Because you know how you can kind of choose however you want to, especially with social media, you can kind of build a persona, but it's not you though.
Right, yeah.
And I'm looking at them like, I'm not about to be with them. But you are them. You just don't see it. You know what I'm saying? Like you're seeing yourself more mighty than you are or something like that. And
Isn't it crazy how pride can boost you up a little bit? Like, look.
Pride had me like,
it ain't me. I don't know who it is, but it ain't me.
I'm a mother who lost her son. That's different.
Yeah.
But it's the same. Because I just wanted to live in my persona. girl.
Yeah. And I love that he gives us grace to be who we really are. Yeah. And you like you said, he has the capacity to handle even at the worst moments, you know. So after like just establishing like
that pride,
look.
That pride gets you every time.
That pride to have your head swell up.
Swell.
Okay.
I couldn't even get in there anyway. It was no space for me.
No, seriously.
Pride is that's so crazy. I just didn't want to identify. And it was so funny because I said that immediately. Like, nope, I don't identify. I'm not that.
Right.
I'm this.
Right, yeah.
So stay the same.
Yeah, yeah.
So you is that. You is that. Okay?
That is funny because...
Walk in that.
Yeah.
Because that's... You don't see it, but on paper, you is that.
Right.
You walk and talk like a duck. Low-key, you a duck, sis.
Yeah.
You out here.
No matter what you put on.
No matter what.
Still a duck.
And so, yeah, I think it was still... And this is like a whole nother conversation. This is just like me living in... Again, a persona, a character that I built so that you will not truly see me. Mm. And then that keeps me protected.
Right, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Then it's not causing too much fuss.
Yeah.
Or something like that. So,
but then, you know, false images doesn't save people and it doesn't set them free.
No.
And
God ain't even blessing your false image. Like, you might as well.
And it only gonna go for about so long before they really see how
you
messed
gonna have
up
a moment. You're gonna be right on TMZ.
Rolling on the ground. Yeah.
Actually, that's the real
right.
That's the real me, actually.
Yeah.
So yeah, girl, that's the whole thing. That's huge. But
so now with, you know, reestablishing purpose, you know, figuring out, coming back to yourself, you're now in this like MC masters. Now I just met you, and when they said your name, Marcus was like, "You don't know Deya?" I'm like, "I don't think I do." How you don't know her? I'm like, I don't know.
Shout out Marcus.
Yes, I don't know. But I'm like, I don't know, and we don't know I don't assume you know, we
right. That's true too.
So he was like, "You don't know Deya? She's gonna be there too." And I was like, "Okay, cool. Like I'm cool. Whatever we all on, let's do it."
Yeah.
And so now I'm seeing you, and I follow you now, and I'm like, "Dang, she's been doing all these kind of things." So has this like master ceremony MC host, you know, being this, you know, you said engagement expert, has this always been something that has been a part of your purpose, like prior to your son passing, or have you just elevated into it right after?
No, so this has always been me.
Oh, wow.
So with my sons, first of all, shout out to my mom and my dad, Irene Leslie, Doc Patterson,
hey,
my parents. And so I have, I feel like I get my personality from them. And so I have always had a personality that just like engages like people like so much. And I shouted them out because, you know, once you start having your own family, you come up like with a vision for your family.
Right.
And so with my sons, like once I started living on my own and, you know, raising my kids, I just really wanted them to tap into themselves because it took me so long to tap into myself.
Right.
It took me so long. Like this Deya you see today was not here.
Yeah.
Okay. Same. Like when I was younger, when I was coming up. And so I had a vision for my sons and I always pushed them to tap into their creativity. Because if I have it,
right,
you
somewhere.
So push into it. And so they would go to everything with me, girl. My plays, I used to be in plays. They would come to them. I did sketch comedy. They would come to my rehearsals for the sketch comedy because it was at the club, so they couldn't go. But they, I took them everywhere and emceeing, so they've seen almost all the projects that I've done. Like they really have. And this is like me. And I just wanted to show them an example of.
Right.
Because that's the one thing I didn't have. An example. Like, what do you do when you're creative, but even if somebody else around you is, they don't seem like it.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to show them an example of, no. You have everything you need in your person.
Yeah.
And so, everything. I've been doing this forever. As far as like, just being on stage, and honestly, I was just leaning towards the thing that I was most afraid of, and that's like being on stage with people. It's like,
I feel like you do amazing, and now when I see you on flyers, I'm like, look at my girl, I just love it. Anytime I see it, I already know it's going to be a good, funny, lighthearted time. So it's just really beautiful.
And that's the thing. So my foundation gift. Now, I feel like I got multiple, but my foundation gift has always been singing. Okay. So I am a singer yes, Lord, I did say I'm a singer. Like, that's my foundation gift
Right.
I've always had since I was ever, like, I don't even know when I realized I had it, but I was young. But I was always way too scared to do it. And so if I had to choose between the two, I chose MCing. Like, if I am to use this voice, let me talk, because it was just a little bit easier to manage.
Right.
But when I would sing, girl, I'd be like,
shaking, sweating. Help me.
Listen, I couldn't control that voice.
Okay, vibrato.
Listen. It wasn't even vibrato. It wasn't a run or nothing. It was just nerves. It was just like, so I couldn't control my nerves singing, and so, but I still wanted to use my gift, so I chose to talk. And I don't know why, but talking came easier. I think because with MCing, I am very much so like all elements of me.
Yeah.
And I can do it.
Yeah.
Listen, you called me up to sing since I was hey,
because you got to do the beat in the song, the note, the key, the all that.
Listen here.
Look.
I just couldn't do it. And so MCing comes naturally, and I can still be myself, and I still feel fulfilled by it.
I love that, because I can't sing, right?
Listen, let me teach you.
Look, can teach the word.
Look, you did that, girl. You were singing.
Wait, hold on. No, ma'am. I can follow the key. I can't lead no song. Let me tell you about the time in church I used to go to, y'all. I try to lead a song. They talk about Candace, you can sing. You soprano, you can sing. Okay. They give you that mic. I didn't understand that the lead singer sing in a different tone beat of the song.
You gotta lead the situation.
Because I know what I've been leading. The Holy Spirit was not present in that song.
Listen, bless her heart.
I didn't know what I was doing. And afterwards, I probably about to throw that mic on the ground. Because I was like, why would y'all make me go up there like that? I'm ashamed.
Why y'all do that to me?
I will teach and preach the gospel and tell people about Jesus, but singing it, count me out.
Listen, and so after that, so I've always been, since I moved to South Carolina, I have like always been a praise and worship leader. I've been down here for about 14 years now. So I'm like a praise and worship leader, which is still crazy because I could do that. But when it's time to sing anywhere, you hear me? I'm like, at least in church, I can just break into tongues or something, it's okay. But anywhere outside of that, girl, I couldn't do it. Whereas now it's a little bit more like, what? We out here, what we doing? Everybody put your hands up. Hey.
Acting a fool. No, look, MC, it's really fun. You just get in the room, warmed up. And that honestly, that's the gift of exhortation.
Yeah.
That is a beauty. And look, everybody ain't got it. Because you got those exhorters. Sidebar. We will get back to the question. Sidebar. But you got those exhorters that be on the stage and they be like, come on and stand up. I'm tired of looking at y'all. Y'all ain't ready. Praise the Lord. Like, dang, you bullying me in this audience.
God deserves more than that.
God deserves. Y'all look like a bump on the lawn. Y'all ain't get up yet. God wouldn't honor that praise. Like, dang, give me a second. I just woke up. It's just, some people are bullies.
Listen.
When they be doing too much.
But I'm not gonna say I didn't start out that way. Listen, that's what I saw. That's what I did.
It's grace and mercy. We thank God
after
for
a while, but now I just be like, slip your hands up. No, I'm just kidding.
You don't lead us directly into
more like, so even with MCing, so it's very funny. I feel like it's the same gift in a different way.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? And so even for speaking and MCing, that really is my job to like warm up the audience and also just to relay the message. And I like to make people feel good, free, and comfortable.
Yeah,
That's why I got 5,000 friends on Facebook. No, I'm just kidding.
No, look. But even when you talk to her in person, you can see how it feels right now. Even when I talk to you, I was just like looking at your face like, she's so cool. I don't even know this girl. You don't want to be like, can I be your friend? Like, it's kind of weird. It's weird. Like, how about we start with lunch first?
That's my thing. I just love for people to feel good and to feel free, because I feel like that's the only way you're going to get information.
Right.
What if I get a word from God? Like, you'll only receive me if I kind of bring your guard down so that you can be you, and then you know what I'm saying, kind of like trust me. So
are there any other activities that you've done, like besides singing, MC, and hosting? Is there like a secret thing that Deya loves to do low key, like we may not know? What's kind of one of the things you love to do?
Oh my goodness. I don't know. I think this is a question you probably got to ask my husband, honestly, because he knows better than I know. But because he knows me, I be out here. I be doing all types of stuff. He's just like, what? Man, I do all things possible.
Activities.
Okay? Activities.
Your favorite restaurant? Like, what is it like? Okay, or if you could describe like a perfect day for Deya, what would that look like?
Man, so it would include some type of ridiculous love reality show.
Okay.
I'm married at first sight all day.
Look.
Okay. And when I need a break, I just be like, let me just see what they doing with their life. Okay.
Period.
Why she ain't make it work with him? Because he looks good, you know?
That's me with Love is Blind.
Love is Blind?
Yeah.
So I like Love is Blind too. So I like all those different things. So I love love.
Yeah, me
on
too.
TV. So whenever I need to escape, I'm not feeling good, listen, let me find me a comedy or a love movie or a rom-com.
Rom-com.
So that's my thing. Let me see, what is it? Where do we go? And so my husband is perfect for this. Shouts out to my husband, Jamerson Smith. Jamerson.
That's how you announce him.
Well, he's my husband.
I know that's right.
God knows what you need when you need.
You heard it.
Is this my camera right here?
I don't know what a camera is.
Is it this one? Is that one?
I'm looking at this one. I didn't even look at that one.
Hey, boo. But we like to adventure. Another thing we love a lot is taking trips.
Okay. Travel.
We love travel, and even if it's just for like one day, and just having like a jovial time. And so I do like that, just to like just chill, hang out. Besides like all the positive things, because listen, I promise you, I'm about to wake up. I'm gonna listen to a sermon. I'm gonna listen to a podcast.
Period.
I mean every day. Every day.
Same.
Listen, it ain't even different information. It's the same information. No, be consistent.
Look,
you know, it's the same thing. You know
you heard when you walk in here, it was like Dappy Keys. This means Trinity, she wouldn't put on R&B. She said, no, my house sound like this too, period. Because we all in the spirit.
Listen, Dappy, not only does he wake me up and Dappy puts me to rest at night.
I'm telling you. Good shower, good bubble bath, set the atmosphere. I want to pray.
Except for when my man.
I think
Dappy's off.
I might need to leave the room.
I got to turn Dappy off. Let me dap you up a little bit. Let me dap you up and let you go. You hear me? But yeah, so I am podcasting every day. I am learning something about something. I am just a junkie about personal development and just showing up kind of as my best self and getting, I don't know, over all the humps that I want to get back. And this is I don't even know where we're going here, but I just want to get back to God's original settings for me.
And you can.
Before life happened and made me self-conscious and doubt myself and, fear of rejection, imposters. And before those things, so I work daily so I can get to God's default settings.
But that's not real. Mm-hmm. That you wanted to be prior to experience doesn't make you qualified to do the season that you're in. Because I'm about to teach, okay? Look.
Offering.
Okay, because look, it just doesn't.
I just said when that hand went.
Look, I was about to go in because I'm telling you though, it doesn't make you qualify. Because like you were saying, you want to live in that moment prior to, you might want to be that version of Deya. Yeah. But it's like that version is not as qualified as this version of Deya.
That's so true.
Yeah.
Well, that version is over.
No, I mean,
that version of me is like, this is a new normal. This is like a new place. And when I said I'm like more rough, I also feel like I'm a little bit more like audacious. I am more like, I don't care if I'm scared, I'm gonna do it anyway.
Right. That's
like, I feel like, oh man, this is so good. Since losing my son, I feel like you only have one life to live.
That's it.
And so you should live it every day. Like like we would always say it, but no. Mm-hmm. He didn't know that was his last day.
Mm-hmm. None of us know.
And so what are we waiting for? We're so arrogant to think we got like 10 years. What? Mm-hmm. Like, I'm not saying YOLO, like live your life, but I am saying we should have some experiences here on this. It's a lot going. We got beaches with blue water.
Travel, life, experience.
Listen.
Do the hard thing, and get good at failing. That's what I've learned.
Hurry up and fail.
Look, hurry up and do it wrong.
Yeah.
Hurry up and launch it and do it wrong because that's going to be the best life experience. Because after that, look.
Right. And you see, it's not that bad.
It's not.
So you've been waiting all this time because your brain, girl, this is sharp left. Your brain is always going to tell you the worst case scenario.
It is.
It ain't even that serious. Ain't nobody even think about you.
Yeah.
Nobody even care.
I know God be up there like, you doing too much.
He is sick and
if
tired.
I bless you for this season, what is you worried about? Don't get on my nerve today.
My angel that is surrounding me, my angel just be like, Lord, like give me a new assignment.
No,
because
I
gotta go Deya again. Oh,
yeah.
Deya.
Yeah, you do. You do. Well, I'm gonna ask you another question.
Okay.
I got a couple more, and then we'll wrap up. But so, what advice would you have for anybody that has either experienced this, or maybe in your situation, or even just some encouragement?
Oh man, if I had to give advice, I would say take everything one moment at a time. And you're in good hands when you're in God's hands. And so do not try to put on for the city or be great or be strong. Please do not try to be strong because you're not strong. You're a person, you're a human. And you have just gone through the most devastating thing a human could experience. So, take everything one moment, 1 second at a time. And there is no perfect way to get through. There is no right way to get through. There is no special way or a secret way, just get through it 1 second at a time. And wherever you are is where you're supposed to be. God is there, and so is the counselor. Like, make sure that, you're not I would say just leaning on God. I don't know if that sounds good or not, but He has put somebody in place to help you navigate this moment in time and do that. And I'm not saying you'll ever forget, but I will say that you will get through this.
Good. I love that. I like that. I just love you. I do. God does all things well. So the last question I wanted to ask you is, so how are you going to continue to honor your son's legacy and all that he's done, and how do you continue to honor that?
This is an amazing question. So firstly, I'm going to be honest. I can be transparent, right?
Yeah.
Listen, I was waiting so bad. I prayed to the fervent prayer that somebody would be like, listen, ma'am, I'm pregnant by your son. But it didn't happen. It didn't happen.
I did not expect you to say that.
I just wanted something. It's like I wanted something from him.
Oh, okay.
And listen, even if it was by way of baby mama, I just wanted it. And that didn't happen. And so I kept trying to think, like, what did I want to do? Did I want to do something for single moms or sons, who were raised by single moms? And one day, randomly, God gave me Lev Lighting, which is lights, entertainment, and visuals. And the tagline under that, it's a special effects company, but the tagline under that is to light up the room the way that Jure lit up the world. And so that is this business that is, every time I do it, I am honoring the legacy of my son, and everything we do with Lev is literally, just lighting up. His smile just lit up the room. And if you talk to anybody who knew him, that's what everybody always say, like, his smile. And so I wanna light up the spaces the same way that he did.
I love
And so that is what that's where it came from.
That's good. Not even knowing special effects. That is a special, because not everybody can light up a room, but those who can, we always remember who they are.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so we specialize really in the event space. So weddings.
Okay.
So the first dance, so we have the cold sparks, we have fog, room lighting, rotating lighting, and so
Okay. Well, tell us about everything else that you do. How can we find you? Awesome. How can people, either book you for an event, things like plug. Do you got any upcoming events?
Shameless plug.
Well,
I recently changed my name on all platforms for obvious reasons. And so I am Mrs. _Deya _Smith on Instagram. My website is DeyaRSmith.com. So go ahead and check that out. All the information just about me emceeing. And if you want to book me to MC your event, because you probably need me, listen. The MC is the thread of the situation, and if you want to increase your bottom line,
period,
you need somebody to bring it all together. I am the crowd whisperer. And so, again, that's www.DeyaRSmith. Oh my God! .com. This new name, it be tripping me out.
Look, I mean, you learned it.
And so on all platforms, I'm Deya Smith. And so just check me out.
Well, you've been a pure joy on
Thank you so
here.
much.
I'm so glad you came. I really appreciate you. I have a gift for you that I want to give you. Yeah. Should I give it on camera, or should I just? Sure. Let me grab it really quick.
I'm excited.
Oh,
Also, I didn't do it yet, but I shouted out my husband because I love him so much. He's amazing.
Periods.
Support is big. Listen, love those who love on you. Support is amazing, and God placed my husband in my life. I got engaged like a month later. So he's amazing, and so shouts out to you, Jamerson Smith, my husband,
Period.
My mom, my sister Michelle, my sister Tina, my sister Cher, my best friend Shakina, but my son CJ. Okay, I love you, buddy. We in this together, and we are going to grow and get through this together.
I love it. Well, thank you. This is just a small thank you gift. So just wanted to give it to you. You got to read the tag on it.
Oh my God. I just saw all the people I didn't say. Hold on. My cousin Kiana. Listen, it's shout out time. My cousin.
Deya's going down the whole bloodline.
I'm on the news.
Deya, you got 10 shout outs.
I'm on the news. Kiara. Yo, I love y'all. You know that. Mona, I love you. Listen, Tank and Will. Y'all
I don't know what you think. Look.
I need to shout them out because the Saints be wanting. Okay.
So just
the movie must be over. You hear me?
Look, okay, sorry y'all, my dog's in the shot.
The movie over.
Look, gotta be okay. Well, just so you know, I am releasing my relaunching my candle line, and I just want to
open it.
Yeah, that's for you. Yeah. So I just want to preview some scents and stuff that I have, and just one of the ones that I currently had recently at my launch party, and I had a lot of them left over, so I've just been blessing people with it. So that one is called Dwell. It is very much tropical. Smells like, you on vacation.
It smells amazing, literally.
And I also have the
this is beautiful. I love
car, so you can put this in your car. So this is a car loan, like a car scent.
Mm-hmm.
You hang it up on your dash. And then also a wax melt and like some little goodie snacks too.
I love it. Yeah. And it smells literally amazing. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. So yeah, so stay tuned for that. You might see
I'm
me
sorry,
post
I didn't
about
mean to get ghetto at the end and give shout outs, but
okay.
Ain't that what you're supposed to do?
You was gonna do it anyway.
You supposed to do shout outs, ain't you?
Gonna do it anyway.
Listen.
Well, I hope you enjoy it. Let me know how you like it.
Yes,
but when I relaunch and everything, I'll let you know. And
yes. Thank you so much. I appreciate this.
You're welcome.
Thank you for putting together this platform.
Yeah.
We need a place to be. Mm-hmm. Those who are grieving, we need a place to be. We're not fitting anywhere.
Right.
And so there are people like you that create a platform so we can speak freely and be ourselves.
I love that.
Thank
well,
you.
Thanks for
We
coming.
appreciate you.
Thank you. Leo, get down. Cause don't piss me off.
Listen, the time.
Let the dog in here acting a fool.
The time must be up because the last square.
Look.
The last square program was like.
Well, I appreciate it. I'm excited.
Yeah.